everybody, this is Chibajisi of YouTube. So, ever since Rivet has released their old Jaden Unshaken episode 2, after so many years, it actually kinda got me thinking about my old ideas. I mean, at first, the episode kinda got my friend thinking about their old ideas, and then they got me to think about my old ideas, and I'm just like, alright, bet. So, that's what this video is essentially about. I do want to note some off-topic things before we get to the main subject of the video, though. Number one, as I said in my previous video, my Q&A is still open. If you have any questions for me, be sure to ask them now or as soon as possible. God, I'm a dork. Number two, I have set up the private server for my private community outside of friend groups. I am slightly hesitant at the moment, given the recent BS when it comes to Discord, and how things are on fire right now. I want to drink gasoline. In the meantime, I'll see if I set up the Discord server and start collecting folks I'm familiar with, and don't mind my dumbass being like, hey, you want to join my private Discord community? But if things with Discord does go to hell, and we're in the similar stages of how Skype turned out, I'll try to go back to my awkward as hell era of trying to use both a dying platform and a newly made platform. Because back then, there was an era where we all used both Skype and Discord at the same time before we all just dropped Skype. But yeah, those are the off-topic things I want to talk about. Let's get on to the actual main subject of the video! So the first thing we're gonna talk about is, this is not a romance, this is a story of two friends, nothing more. So, Watamote-esque title aside, this was meant to be a cute story between two friends and probably some few other people. The two other people, I assume, is probably the more comedic relief type of characters. At least from what I remember, it's been so long. A bit of a fun fact, this was going to be a visual novel, but I was still in the stage of I have no idea what the fuck I am doing with Renpai. Funny enough, I did ended up wanting to make a visual novel style Fanime for this, but it never fell through. Especially considering the fact that this was back when I was still using Windows 7, and the Windows 7 laptop I was using, died. The only proof I have is this screen cap that I got from the Tumblr post from, years ago, as well as the draft post that I have for the script that was probably never finished. But that's it, this story is very much scrapped. Also, goddamn, this Hedioi kind of reminded me of a bootleg Hatsune Miku. The second idea that I tried to come up with is Gogart. Oh, what the fuck is up with this name? So this was pre-outfit changes for Ninako and Sunny, but pre-roommates. Pre-2015 roommates. From what I gather, this was supposed to be some sort of magical girl show-esque type of thing. It was still going to be a visual novel style thing with some animated shots? I don't know. Even at the time, I was still stuck in my ways of doing visual novel style stuff. I know that I had a script for this and voiced every single character myself. I was able to retrieve the script, actually. It never went into fruition though, because at the time, I did not know what the fuck I was doing. Thank God that 2015 Roommates has set the foundation of how I wanted to characterize these three dipshits. The magical girl aspect of this had at least some semblance of a successor, that is, Majima Palette. The third idea is Sailor Modesty. Oh my god. This is gonna be so awkward to talk about. Fuck! Okay, so this fucking Fanime idea was literally thought up because I wanted to create the opposite team for the team in Tokyo Fetish Mew. I wanted to see how this goes because it would be. I was just imagining a hilarious battle between the whole the fetish team versus the purity team and shit. I thought it was gonna be funny. Funny, stupid crossover battle between the two teams. However, in TFM,
he was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
So yeah, the point of this team has become rather moot. So these purity fuckos are shelved forever. They are only referenced in conversation occasionally when Tokyo Fetish Mew is brought up. Fuck! The next idea is the two magical scouters. So there is a lot to unpack with this one. I'm sure those within the Fanime community back in 2015 may remember this one because I made two EDs for this one. So this Fanime was supposed to star my friend KHF, or rather KHF's persona, KHF, or rather a version of KHF that I created since the man of the hour decided to do the thing of making multiple versions of KHF, and my dumbass wanted to have fun with it. Literally, the only original character for this that actually belongs to me is Gilka. Why? Because the concept of KHF does not belong to me, and there was an alternative interpretation of of Emma Sky. Why? Because she was in KHF's videos. Have I told you that I never played any of the Ace Attorney games? But yeah, this idea never went into fruition because, again, I have no idea what the fuck I was doing. I don't know if I could go back to this idea, just on the virtue that KHF, at this point, has a life. But it is kind of hilarious to think about, just to be clear. The next idea that I wanted to bring up is Episouls. Yes, that's the title. Yeah. So, I was confused about this, like, in the current year of our King of Town 2026, but I'll try to decipher of what I was trying to cook with this idea back in 2015. So basically, in the world of this project, there is a phenomenon where internet personas have kind of become their own person outside of the IRL person that they are a persona of. Like, they start to have their own souls, hence the title Episoul. I kind of forgot where the epi part comes from, but it's fine. Anyways, in the story that I was wanting to tell with this concept, I had this like weird ass plotline where two Episouls fell in love with one another. Meanwhile, their IRL counterparts are actually just only friends and with no romantic feelings whatsoever. So basically, this is like a strange ass like star-crossed lovers type of situation with the Episouls, all the while like acknowledging that the IRL people that the Episouls are based off are just friends. Honestly, typing this out and voicing it, this does sound like an interesting idea, and this is something I probably should revisit one of these days. Though I probably want to redesign some of the characters I made for this because my art skills was so ass back then. So, the nameless Conjun House-esque project. This bitch-ass project was thought up on a goddamn whim. See, I was really obsessed with Conjun House back in the day, and I really wanted to make a Fanime like it. Hell, I even had like a test animation for it. I also had like other characters planned for this project as well outside of the 4 that I shared on my Tumblr post. However, I never went into fruition because I think I was either too focused on Nemomiya at the time, or I was trying to focus on getting 7 guidances to exist for the 2019 weekly challenge. I think only one of the characters survived, and they had like a redesign and are now in my weird ass RPG Maker game, A Cookie Tale. In fact, while we're at this, like, Homestay Pumpkins. So you remember what I said about the previous section with the Conjun House-esque Fanime? Copy-paste the majority of what I said of that section here. It was also going to be for what some people were clamoring on about, which was the Daily Fanime Challenge. Spoiler alert! It never happened! The second to last idea is, don't tell the teacher about our mess-ups. So this one is an interesting case, cause this was meant to be a fanime of someone else's fanime. A fan-fanime, if you will. This fan series was meant to take place in the world of Don't Stick My Hat, and I kinda wanted to work on it, like, at the time, actually. Yeah, I was, like, mainly starring 4 roles, but, like, I was gonna have some kooky characters later down the road. Sadly, due to the multitude of factors, I don't think I'll be able to go back to this project publicly, really. At best, if I were to go back to it, it'll probably be exclusive to my future private community, as well as 2 friend groups, one I've made as recently as last year. And lastly, we have New World Memories. Oh geez. So this project was kind of thought up during a time I was not really doing the best. So this Fanime, from what I remember, it has like a character that has amnesia, and like 3 of the characters are trying to get like the main character's memories back. If you want to know something, the inspiration for this Fanime was like the other Fanime called Our World Ends Here, since it also stars a character that has amnesia. I also had 8 episodes for it written, since it was going to be for the 2022-2023 Fanime Weekly Challenge. However, due to a lot of things, I have to shelve this project and just went on to something different before I kinda settled on Moon Mansion Solitary. Out of everything, this is probably the project that I sort of feel a little bit more seriously awkward about. Because at least with the friendship comedy, it was kind of innocent, in a sense. Sailor of Odyssey is at least awkward in a funny sense. Same goes for the 2 Magical Scouters. Gogard had like some semblance of a successor that is Majima Palette. The Content House Fanimes were so stupid. The Don't Take My Hat fan series at least had some potential of being a private project that I could only send to certain circles, including a private community that I want to build up. Episode's premise is kind of interesting that I kind of want to revisit, at least. New World Memories was meant to send a message I wanted to tell at the time, but due to circumstances as well as me changing as a person, I can't. The message is kind of like moot at this point. And plus, it was already ripping off another Fanime, so I shouldn't feel too bad for it. At the very least, I still like the character designs that I have put them up on my toy house, so it's something at least. And those were my ideas. Not gonna lie though, this has kind of been a blast from the past, even if some of this shit is like awkward to look back on now. At the very least, I do hope that some of you will find this video to have some semblance of being interesting. But now that I'm done, now I have something to ask of you. What are your old ideas? Hell, it doesn't have to be Fanime related if you don't really want to. It could just be anything. It could be like an old game, an old book, whatever. Like, I want to hear about your old ideas. Just tell me. But with that, that is that. This is Chippy of YouTube signing out. Goodbye!